Right, what to do, what to do, what to do. Did I ever go this way? I did. And there's a thing. Well... Huh. I just had a thought. I wonder... Here's an idea. Which one do I want to try first? Are there any on this floor? I don't think there were there? No. Did we ever attempt to open that? Must have done. Yeah, nothing on this floor. Do we have any information on what year this was released? Does this mention any years? It does not. We got that calling card inscription. We got all of these. Out with that, I think. Script pages. Ah. There's a bunch more pages of this that I've never even looked at. Okay, this will open the rest of the document tubes. I didn't even notice that had multiple pages. Great. That'll definitely help. Okay. Again. I think the only tube was on the right-hand side, but just to double check. Yeah, none here. Nothing in here. And this is tube tread. Which one of you is tread? You. Modular room design. Project team said their cranes cannot rotate modules. Supplier only has one of each module in stock. Least expensive option. We can do it for 500 with the big rectangle and the square. That 425 is not going to work. That is too awkward of a shape. Is there any other way to do it? I don't think the 210 is going to work either. You could do it with the 130 on the right-hand side, then the 80 next to it, then the 55 filling up the remaining space. That would be cheaper. Don't think there's any way to make the 315 shape work. Actually, you could do it with the 315 and the 425, but that would be more expensive than the other option. So I think it's 130 plus 80 equals 210, plus 55 is 265. Two, 6, 5. I am correct. We have another map. It has the answer to one of the padlocks on it. The highest floor of Hotel Lidzjar is used for the most spacious suites facing the beautiful and seemingly endless forest to the north. The wing's rooms feature grand windows from which guests can view the wonderful landscape. The majesty of this floor is enhanced by its many hallways, while the octagonal centre of the floor accentuates the height. The stairs in the southmost hallway lead to the small loft, with the stairs in the northern hallways lead down to the mezzanine of the foyer. Okay, the lit up white rooms are rooms where I've been. Crafts room. 314 a hallway. West hallway. West hallway. Crafts room. There's the lounge in there we can probably get into. Elevator hallway. Don't know what that symbol is. There's the elevator. Room adjoining nursery. Adjoining study and TV room. Okay, well, we have a 281. It is indeed a lounge. And there's a printer. And a bunch of busts. Input case-sensitive code to request a bug report 2. Well, I have no idea what the code would be. Three and 8. 3 and 2. 13 LEI. 13 N2. I'm gonna write this down. Do I have a good piece of paper anywhere? Within easy reach. You'll do. Let me just grab a sheet of paper from near the end here. Alright. Into not sure what all that means quite yet. I shall return later. Any documents on this floor? Yes, you. I think that's the only one. Ondra. It's this one. Component-based mansion design. Available components and prices. Remember to report cost to client. Ah, there are slight subtle differences. The 150, second from left top row, has a spire on it, which we do not want. The 50 has not enough windows. The 215 has an extra window by the door where there shouldn't be one. And 330 has no door, so we want the 195 plus 85 is wrong window. Has 2 windows on the left, on the right, and not 3. 500. Don't see anything immediately wrong. 60 is missing a window above the door where there should be one. And the 275. Also looks fine, I think. Hold on, no, the tower on the right is too high. Okay, so it's the middle one for both of them, which is 695. Bada boom. Floor 2. The second floor includes spaces perfect for exhibitions and shows, as well as lots of luxurious rooms to stay and feel at home in. Studies, offices, and other workspaces are found throughout the floor. This floor also leads to the backyard, in which you will find places to contemplate, such as the orangery. There is a balcony facing south, and each wing has its own balcony with their own fire escapes. From study, we got a hallway. There's a gaming room. There's whatever that symbol means. There's a spade, and a heart, and a diamond. I don't see a club, though. East front hallway. Apparently there's a locked door in the library that I did not see. And you would get to the left side, yeah, by a totally different path. From the library office, from the foyer, from this foyer. Not an easy place to reach. That key is still dangling there. One beginning with F, that one. Okay, north is pointing to the right. One design proposal, expensive materials, economic construction, low-priced labor, any hidden costs. 761. It's the, if you ignore the rooms that are actually rooms with things in them and turn the whole thing 90 degrees anti-clockwise, the corridors are 7, a 6, and a 1. Or not. Guess depends on which way up you have the thing. That looked right, though. It can't be the other way up, because what the heck is the 7 in that case? Still looks like a 761 to me. Guess I could try it in reverse, but that doesn't really make sense. No. Strange indeed. Low-priced interior. If it's not a 761, I don't know what it is. Hello? I see you're finished with, whatever you were talking about in the room. Signorina, I'm happy like 1,000 children to see you. Please forgive my absence. I had some matters I needed to discuss with the Americans. First things first, Signorina. You must above all get to know this house. After all, it is your art that will reveal all its secrets and memories. This is crucial to the project. Now, Signorina, if you would excuse me. As you can see, raindrops fall on man and hedgehog alike. I have to go and clean off all this red paint. Call me on my room number about your findings. We must uncover everything. I'll be staying in room 1963. Signorina, you will of course be needing your room key. I left it at the reception desk. Good luck, Bella. Well, I need to get back around there first. Great. That's a lot of numbers. Bolted from the other side, of course. Click. Woman painting in the garden? An unusual combination lock, but sure. To whom it may concern, it has come to our attention that Mr. Nero has contracted you to work on his project. We're writing to let you know that we are not involved in any capacity with Mr. Nero, nor any of his projects as of late last year. Anyone choosing to still associate with Mr. Nero after receiving this letter will be regarded as complicit in Mr. Nero's game. Furthermore, my personal advice for your own safety is to not engage with Mr. Nero, as it has been proven time after time that his behaviour is erratic, perhaps even dangerous. Sincerely, Robert Sidney. One, 9... 6, 2. Indeed. We got our room key. Very good. One more thing that I want to do real quick. We have an address on here. Nachtali 61. Does that correspond to anything in this book? Looking for number 61. Yes, there it is. 446816. 446816. Meister GmbH, how may I help you? What do you mean, broken? Of course it is. They're tearing it all down. Are you calling from there? Who is this? You shouldn't be there. Hello? Well. Ominous. The phone is ringing. Bella, it is me. When your horse barks, one has made a mistake. I think what you have there is a dog, not a horse. There was a misunderstanding about the elevator. It couldn't be trusted. It should be working now. Please, Signorina, forget about Hausmeister. The elevator is no longer out of order. Hello? Can't interact with that. But it's there. Also, there's a ladder. Is that there before? I don't remember that being there before. Okay, well. What's the final document tube location? Not there. Maybe we haven't even seen it yet, because it would be in a different floor, surely. Well... Yeah, we have that now. Still got that. I wonder if I can find... Yeah, there's going to be one for floor 1 somewhere. If I can find... Robert Sidney in the directory. Be under S. No. Guessing they're not a local. So is Nero in here? No, they are not. At least I don't think so. I don't think I know their surname. Yeah, Nero is their surname. Ah. It is really weird. Oh, I'm not using the room layouts at all, am I? I'm using the walls. See, I'm trying to go based on the room shape, but there's also the wall shape. The disconnected bits of wall in the middle. In which case it would be 714. I liked my solution better. Floor 1, the pride and joy of Hotel Lids Ajar with all the conveniences of your dreams. The floor houses a lush restaurant, a rustic cafe, and a library full of information. Spacious lounges to socialize in, and even its own chapel. Room 1932, way over to the left on its own. There's the spade. Hello? The room is already occupied. She is asleep. Name of resident, redacted. Date of admission, 2014, 12/13. Date of summary, 2014, 12/14. Miss Blank suffers from blank and blank. The latter is likely to be a symptom of early stages of blank. It's likely that Miss Blank's condition is blank. Lately, Miss Blank has been receptive to verbal communication. Nurses have seen noticeable reactions when mentioning things such as family members, friends, places she visited, or things related to her work. As it's believed that this verbal stimuli is beneficial, the care team intends to find more information about her. Visitors will be encouraged to communicate with her using any verbal stimuli the care team finds advisable. Yep, same resident. Notes from 2 days later. Name and place she used to visit, name of parents, any other family, aunt or uncle perhaps, projects worked on, names or nicknames of friends, acquaintances, etc. Find out about exhibitions, any specific contribution in exhibitions, music she liked, band names. The mirror is very broken. I could tell you that without even needing to examine it close up. Stack of empty videocassette boxes. Ah, we have years. Good. Renzo Nero. Banker Renato leaves the city life behind and decides to sail the ocean to experience the calm of being in the eye of a storm. He robs his own bank to buy a ship, which he names the Lily Christine. Throughout his journey, he meets creatures and seafarers who all seem to bear a resemblance to people who he has met before. Jew Tbilisi. The irresponsible Lieutenant Reznik serves in a distant outpost during World War I. Out of boredom, he cuts out his eyes to get sympathy from his commanding officer, Major Lawrence, whom he later seduces. A strange and dangerous love affair plays out where the war creeps ever closer. Ace of Hearts. Gambler Roberto loses a bet to the one-eyed radical Lorelei. To cancel his debt, she wants him to infiltrate the military-industrial complex. When Roberto inadvertently causes an international diplomatic crisis during a game of cards, Lorelei decides that a nuclear war is unavoidable, and in the name of peace they form the terror group the Ace of Hearts to speed up the process. A card fell out from the box. The Ace of Hearts. The Ophthalmologist's Dream. R, an ordinary librarian, finds the indecipherable book 1,000 years ago in his library. The words within puzzle him, and his research leads him to an underground book club where he befriends Al. She takes him to a fortune teller, and in the crystal they see that R wrote 1,000 years ago himself. What a twist! A dog like all other dogs. In post-war Dusseldorf, the homeless Rudy looks for his blind dog Lazarus in the ruined city. As Rudy realizes that dogs have more value than him, he transforms himself into a Labrador, only to find himself in constant fear of being cooked and served in a fancy restaurant. Pretty short drama. Only half an hour long. The dog out front was named Rudy. Automobile. 3 women, all named Regina, lose their minds after hearing Rock sing a Little Leaf on the radio. To symbolize their higher state of consciousness, they change their names to Retina and learn that Little Leaf is to perform in Helsinki. They steal a sports car and embark on a violent quest to find the man of their dreams. An animal terrible. As Rinaldo is left by his wife and children, he cuts out the eyes of the family cat Lucina in a fit of vengeful rage. When insects start to devour the still-living cat, it turns from white to black, and Rinaldo starts to keep a journal about its decay using macro photography. Ugh. And it's 3 hours 15 minutes long. And the third eye, no description given. The back of the box is completely blank, but there is a note inside. Cinema does not need people to exist. A piece of art exists in itself and for itself. All art can and should not be for mankind. We must make special cinemas for showing movies that transcend the human experience and shift the perspective from the viewer. Such a cinema has no need for chairs or popcorn, and it has no room or need for people at all. A projectionist starts the film and is given ample time to vacate before the credits, and the show begins. No chatter, no commercials, no inane questions about the plot. Pure cinema, untarnished by greedy eyes. There's a lot of stuff about eyes here. No cassette inserted. Oh, I don't have one to insert. But we have dates of all the films. That'll be good. There's a ladder up. There's a maze, which looks kinda like the one on the door of the other room. Loft space. There's a document tube up here. Which is gonna be... It's not 9 times 81 because it's upside down. It is 6 times 18. Oops. Times 6. 108. Yep. All done with the document tubes now then. And we got an achievement for it. Small loft of the hotel houses an impossibly large room, and small space is used for storage, perfect for the many planned projects in the building. This room goes nowhere. Okay. There's a bed in my way. Hello? Young woman. Before I go, please help me see. Help the old woman see. She's mumbling. The piece at Electronic Art Symposium. Photo collages. Cafe. Mother, her sister, and father. Sculpture project telex name Delphine's Band. I'm gonna need to write all that down. That sounds like a lot of information I need to find out. I think I kind of need to find out who you are first, before I can find out who your aunt, mother, or father are. That kind of lines up with what's on here, right? Yeah, name of parents, somewhere she used to visit. That might be the cafe's name. Petrov's band's name. A contribution to the photo exhibition. Projects worked on. Something to do with the art symposium. Her aunt's name. Don't know about this Eunice project. Well, that's the projects worked on bit. What's name Intellect supposed to be? A nickname, perhaps? Hmm. How was your room, Signorina? Already occupied. What was it you expected? You really like puzzles, Signorina. Let me think. I've got it! You were the someone. That was an inventive riddle, Bella. Yeah, not me. Someone else. Now, Signorina, I forgot to ask you the most important thing. Did you bring the script pages, like we agreed? Signorina, Signorina. This is a problem bigger than a jackpot. A very big problem. How do you suppose we'll find out how it ends? I suggest you make it a very high priority to bring them to me. Hello, Spectre. Alright, well. Let's see if I can open this door. Films, games, and scripts. Got all of the maps. Including the maze design. Just clear those out. Manifesto. Okay, so this film was 1962. But we're rearranging it in that order. So 1962. The 1 is second. The 2 is fourth. The 6 is first. And the 9 is third. 9? No? Yeah. 6192, I think. No. Doing? The 9 is clearly fourth. That's wrong. What about at a time? Something 1. The 9 has ended up in 4th. And the 6th, it should be 3rd. It's just, I think I've just got the... Yeah, the 2 at the end is 3rd. I just have the 9 and the 2 transposed. If it's working the way I think it's working, which it is. Cool, so yeah, it's the year of the film, quartered, so take one digit at a time. The 1 is the digit that should be in first, but it's been shifted over to be in second because the top left bit of the poster, which is representing the 1, is in second place, and so on and so forth. There's a safe. Okay, that's advancing by multiples of 9. That's advancing by multiples of 60. That's advancing by multiples of 400. Dear brother, I arrived at blank yesterday. It is decayed, dark, and much too large for the Baronin herself. Your prophecy was, as expected, correct. She is an artist, born on these very grounds. I've yet to gain her trust, but I sense an inexplicable bond between us. I think she knows what I'm searching for, as is expected, for how could one live 40 years on sacred grounds without knowing? Ab imo prector, your brother. 1887, perhaps? Is that possible? I can do you a 1687. Can do you an 1807 if we're saying it's 40 years back, which we are. Obtained a computer disk. Okay. I'm not going to use that right away. I think I will drop a save. Okay, automobile. Year of release for automobile. 1959, which flipped upside down would be 6561. And we're in, and there's another safe. Dear brother, my worries were not without cause. Things have started to appear. A red hallway behind a clock. A theatre. The Baronin is changing and speaks in a puzzling tongue. Minutes and hours are years. At this very moment, time is the year, she said, as if it were a rehearsed line from a play. The Crimson Beast skulks these halls now, playing strange games and whispering horrible words. It wants to swallow all. Tonight, if such a time even exists, we are invited to a performance. Something will happen. There's violence in the air. 1847? Another disc. And then there were two. Okay. Spect key. Found the key cabinet behind the reception counter. The head has an embossing which reads 2014 on one side, and on the other side a small symbol of what looks like two hands, and a sphere over the words Schonler tag is embossed. It's shiny and the cuts of the blades are sharp. It's much heavier than it looks. The condition and design indicates a recent production. The key's weight can presumably be attributed to its interior, which must be made of a material of great weight. Design characteristic used to emphasize importance. The tiny emblem on the head could be interpreted to mean many things. In several cultures, two hands symbolizes protection. The Ace of Hearts. Found hidden in a video cassette box of the film The Ace of Hearts. The back of the card has swirly red letters which read Club Rogue Monte Carlo. It has a small circular brown stain. In rural parts of southern Europe, it's believed that using playing cards as coasters could cure all kinds of spiritual ailments. However, the size of the stain hints at it being from an espresso cup, which indicates an urban origin. It's possible that the card was the possession of a highly superstitious metropolitan. KLB Electronics 3 MB magnetic storage fitted on the housing. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes Safe File 5 is written in neat handwriting. The manufacturer of the diskette is KLB Electronics, a pioneer in computer storage and electronic products. It was likely produced in the late 1970s or early 1980s. Based on the wear, the writing on the label is from the same time, and indicates the content is a save file for a game called Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which is remarkably inconsistent. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes was a game developed by Simogo during the 2020s, and by then magnetic tests were completely obsolete. And pretty much the same thing, but it's save file 4. Again, how very meta. Okay. Lorelei Ways. Gnome. Granite. In Gnome, we are invited to see the thoughts of a person as they are formed. 9 slates, some containing letters forming a seemingly nonsensical word, seem to grow as ideas on the subject's forehead. The piece is cryptic, even maze-like, and ultimately lets us use our imagination to project our own ideals onto its slates. And I'm going to write it down, thank you very much. Okay, we have a 3x3 grid, and we have Z or N. Or something. It's locked. I would like to access the keypad, please. I'm guessing they need to be pushed in a specific order, which I do not know. Okay. Renetsch Struchwald Hillskorper. Oil on canvas. Having mostly used her talents and training in traditional paintings for landscapes and portraits, Struchwald's motifs became more and more minimal, sometimes even simple, by the end of her life. Her later work would often include mystic symbols, some not deciphered to this day. Mars, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun. I believe those are real symbols. I recognize a couple of them. Voltage shortcut number 6. MDCCCXLVII. It's locked. Uh-oh. What happened to the floor? Hmm. The hole blocks the way. Do not jump down. Seems like a bad idea. Okay, door number 6. What number is the symbol to the right? 74, I think. Yeah, I think that's the only option. Just turn it the other way. 74. Indeed. And this... Have I even been here before? I've got a shortcut door, sure, but it's a shortcut door to somewhere I've not even been. Because it's a corridor that only serves as further shortcuts. More to open from the other side. Okay. Do needs to write this down. Okay, this is a keypad. It is 691354027 and MDCCC Excel VII. Yeah, it's the L, C, and D where I have problems. I know the rest. Okay, so this is 1,500, 800. Okay, this is a weird ordering, because I don't think you should have the X and the L in that order like that. X is 9, 10 minus 1. So this is 50 minus 10 is 40. 1847. Which on this keypad would be 1847. Hello? Uh-huh. Red glass shards surround her. She's holding onto a broken key. Not like that. 1847. Doesn't line up. Neither does that. Or that. That does. One reassembled key. Stress level has gone up a bit. As one would expect, really. Found on the ground near a dead body in the backyard. It's shaped like the number 1847. Can be taken apart. The base in itself is a key on which 4 parts can only be assembled in a specific way. This type of key is known as a puzzle key. It was invented and popularized in the mid-1800s when the idea of a group of people each owning a part of the key. This would force the group to come together to unlock the door. They remain immensely popular among collectors. As this particular puzzle key can be linked to a dead body, its value is likely increased. When assembled, puzzle keys often reveal a hint in their imagery. In this case, it's reasonable to assume that the key leads to a room that correlates to the number depicted when assembled. "1847. Is that this room over here? No. It's a room to which I already have access, then. Yeah. And that window would kind of be above where the body is. And there are glass shards, which tracks if she somehow fell or was pushed out of the window. What is going on up there? Got a hand crank. Insert something in the horse. Horse jumping over scales. Horse with a scythe. Horse with a sword. Horse with some arrows. Compass door. Cha-ching. A key in a tree. An E-shaped key. And a shortcut door. If east equals 4, then south equals 1, and north equals 8, and west equals 8 minus 1, 7. $1,847. 1847 would be south, north, east, west. There's a tent. And I don't think I can wander too far off the beaten path. It's the tent or nothing. Books about divination. More books about divination. A voice echoes from within the crystal ball. I see your destiny. I see islands. Caves. Your tragic fate leads you to an island far away. Sulawesi. In the cave where this started thousands of years ago. Do you wish to hear more? The year is 1982. You will wander the paths of that primordial cave to choose your own adventure. I can go in lots of different directions. What if I just keep going north, huh? At this point you will see nothing. Absolutely nothing. Will you not wander the true path? Not here, call me. 1798. To understand crystallomancy, we must understand that all divinity is therapeutic, not paranormal. Over the years, there have been several scientific studies of the practice, and many come to the same conclusion. Crystal gazing is self-hypnotism. What you see in the crystal could simply be something you've forgotten or repressed. 1 is the divine, 9 is death, 6 is life, and 3 is creation. Combining them tells us about the holy powers and visions within each person and how to use them in creativity. This is, then, the year for creation at all costs, life or death. To those willing to see it, 1963 is a year of finality and new beginnings. It is believed that the Babylonians were the first to divide the moon phase cycles in 4, which became what we know today as a week. They also developed a horoscope by assigning them the 7 classical planets, which would line up with the symbols that we saw. Moon phases for January of 1847. Meteorites from Tertis Oculus are still found on Earth to this day. In Rubrum Astronomica, Lucius writes, "When the third eye passes by, the world belongs to creators. It's a time for beauty and chaos. An artist will be crowned king, and he will lead our victory over Mammon. They will create items of great beauty, and for a fleeting moment there will be harmony and chaos. But order will be restored, and Knights of the Third Eye end in blood. Artists will die or surrender to the merchants. Mammon will not be denied, but artifacts of these knights will remain among us. The different zodiac signs, and the date you have to be born for each one. The Ace of Spades, also known as the Death card or the Spadille, has been a symbol related to war and also asexuality, but in the French tradition of fortune-telling it would usually mean bad luck or death in one's future. And we got the Ace of Spades. There is of course more to oculomancy than simply reading the reflections in the questioner's eyes. Over the next chapters, we will learn what an oculomancer can tell about a soul by the shape of their eyes, the colour of their iris, and how we can provide spiritual guidance by studying the nuances in a bloodshot eye and the structure of the vessels. Well. I feel like I have a lot of options as to what I could do next. Before I do any of them, I shall save. Quarter of the way there, apparently.